And we unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to meet Brother Anthony Freeman, but we are inspired by hearing his story, as I know all of the brothers here in Legionary Priest and Consecrated are as well. And we truly are honored to be here and to receive this award. And it's deeply appreciated. What we thought we might do, just in honor of receiving the award, is just maybe touch on how we first came to learn about the Legion of Christ, and a few of the things along the way. There's many highlights, and we won't go through all of them, but we might pick out a few that would maybe underscore our appreciation for the Legion of Christ. And I would say that in Father Simon used the term wow, and wow is a term that one uses when you experience something greater than you expect, right? More than you anticipated, greater than. And we were wowed many times in our experience with the Legion of Christ. And so we'll just maybe focus on a few of those wows and try to underscore again our appreciation for the impact of Legion in our life. I'm going to first turn this over to Lynn, who loves to talk in front of crowds. And just let her tell you about how we first came to learn of this magnificent order of priests. Lynn?
So we moved about 13 times through our 37 years of marriage, corporate moves, and we became very good at that. And at one point, we found ourselves moving to Atlanta, Georgia, and always focused our choice of housing close to where the Catholic school was for our children. And so I started doing some research about Catholic schools in Atlanta, started calling them. No places, long wait lists.
No room at the inn.
No room at the inn, exactly. And so I went on the internet, started Googling Catholic schools, Atlanta, surrounding area, and this Pinecrest Academy came up. And it said it was Catholic. And I mentioned it to Larry, and we thought, well, we've never heard of a Catholic school named after a tree before. So is this like a new age, like Catholicism? What is this going on? So let's check it out. So we called and we learned that they were having an open house. It was winter. And at this time we were in Des Moines, I guess, living there. So we came in on Christmas break with the kids to the open house at Pinecrest. And of course, there's almost blizzard-like conditions that night. It hardly ever snows in Atlanta, but it was really bad. You can hardly even see. But we went to the school. We were there for that visit. So we went to the school, and we showed up. The people that were there were just welcoming us with open arms. There were very few people because of the weather, but the blessing in that for us personally was that we got to spend more time with the people that were there. And especially I want to give a shout out to Judy Guilfoyle, who was one of the founders of Pinecrest. And every other word that Judy uses is beautiful. And she is beautiful. And so she made us feel so welcome. And actually then we became excited for this move and to get our children into that environment. And we learned not only was it not a New Age Catholicism, but it was a very authentic, special place for our children to be formed in their faith. And so we are so grateful. And from that moment, we were drawn in. I always, whenever we moved, I'd become a volunteer in something at the school. And the more I got drawn in, Larry got drawn in. He coached basketball. And they are so good at forming the whole family, which is beautiful. So we are so grateful. And I'll let you go from there.
Great job, honey. Where were you all these years?
Until there.
So yeah, just underscoring a few things, and she mentioned formation. And I would say that the first thing that we were wowed by and just greatly appreciated was the formation of our children. We have two children today. Amanda is 30 and John is 29. And hopefully they're listening.
She said she's still 29.
Oh, I'm sorry. But they're still our kids, and she has two daughters. In fact, her eldest daughter, our granddaughter, Emma, at 5, is at Pinecrest today. She started pre-K 3. She's now in kindergarten, and we found out, and I don't know if it's absolutely been verified, but we were told by the founders that she is the first child of a Pinecrest graduate. Our daughter graduated 8 years, and then we moved again to attend Pinecrest. So that's pretty cool. But our kids developed this tremendous formation, which is still with them today. Our son, we all sort of get branded, and he sort of had a brand. It wasn't a bad brand, but he was not the leader in the first. When we moved, he was moving into Pinecrest in 5th grade, and he had decided wherever we went, he was going to kind of change his brand. He wanted to be a leader, and he had sort of been a follower in his grades 1 through 4. So he landed at Pinecrest with the idea he was going to be a leader, and that was totally supported by the atmosphere and all of his teachers and of course the big formation that we have there. And in fact, he went on to receive the Semper Altius Award in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. Although I think it changed names and there's another name I can't remember. But anyway, which just underscored the magnificent support that he received as he was striving to enhance his leadership of others in all ways, including the faith. And so our daughter, of course, today could not be any more thrilled than to have Emma at Pinecrest and our 2-year-old granddaughter, who will be there next year in pre-K 3. That's, just truly magnificent. This formation is the first thing that we were wowed by and that we hold dearly in our hearts. And I would say, then that continued with our granddaughter. Just an interesting story. So going back, she's now in kindergarten. In pre-K 3, we decided to kind of get her into the spirit of things. We would take her to a Pinecrest football game. And so she's pre-K 3, right? And so we go and we get to Pinecrest, and we sit on about the 3rd or 4th row of bleachers, and we're on about the 45-yard line, something like that. And the football team, Pinecrest football team's out there, and the team they were playing against is out there. And first of all, her teacher, Miss Turner, who she dearly loved, came walking through, and she was all excited to see Miss Turner and gave her a big hug. And then the team had come out and had done their practice, and they were lined up. There was a little fence about 3 foot high that separated. It was kind of a gravel partial track, if you will, and then a 3-foot fence. The team was the other side of the fence, and their bench was there, etc. And then she saw Father Matthew Federer, who is the priest assigned to the lower school at Pinecrest. And she was beside herself. She was so excited. Father Matthew. And she wanted, he's a rock star, right? And she wanted to run out there. And of course, I said, no, we first of all, we can't hop the fence. I'm not sure if Papa can get over the fence. And secondly, you got all these boys out there in helmets, and they wouldn't see you, right? And they might run you down. They wouldn't mean to run you down, but they might run you down. We can't do that. So I got her settled down. So the first half is complete, and the teams kind of go off to their respective corners, and I'm going to take her down to the end zone where all the refreshments are and get her something to drink. And we come down the steps, and we start to walk down the side, we get down to maybe the 30-yard line or 25-yard line. And Father Matthew had kind of drifted downfield and was standing alongside the fence. And she sees Father Matthew again. We're maybe 20 feet or so from Father Matthew. And she takes off towards Father Matthew. She gets, though, about halfway. This is what's magnificent. And she turns around. She stops. She turns around. And she comes back. And she grabs my hand with both of her hands. And she pulls me towards Father Matthew because she wants to introduce me to this magnificent priest, Father Matthew, right? And it was just so beautiful because at her age, she's so well formed already at 5 years old, with this great love of Mary, a love of Jesus, and a knowledge of what a Catholic priest is all about. It's so magnificent, especially in today's world when kids who don't have the opportunity to go to a school like Pinecrest and who are being thrown into situations where they're certainly being led astray. We couldn't be more thankful. So that's the first thing, is formation. The second thing that and Lynn witnessed that was really another wow was the magnificent ability that Pinecrest and the Legion at Pinecrest, working through there, had to wrap their arms around siblings and parents and bring them into the community. And what was really insightful to me was watching how they were, in a very good way, leveraging that relationship with the child to reach out beyond the child to the child's family. And what a magnificent way that was to execute what we have been asked to execute, which is the new evangelization, which in part really is a re-evangelization in many ways of Catholics who have either fallen away or not maybe as strong in their faith as they should be. There's other ways to evangelize. Steve, you do that very well on the street, but this is another way, and that is reaching through these children to their families and bringing them in. And I have to say that our own faith formation was significantly enhanced in the same way. And today, our best friends are all families that that we ran into and built those friendships with at Pinecrest, because we were all brought into that. And as Lynn mentioned, involved in a number of things, and as she was in a mother's prayer group and pure fasting, and I was in coaching, but there was just so many things. And so going through the children to the families is just such a magnificent way of helping that evangelization. So that was another thing that we were so thrilled about and wowed about in our experience with Legion of Christ. So then, moving kind of fast forward, we moved again. We went up to Toronto for a short stint, and then over to Vermont, where Sister, I did make the coffee. Where did she go? There she is. I did make the coffee. I brewed. I was running Green Mountain Coffee, Keurig Green Mountain, and I could handle the Keurig brewer very well. And I did brew the coffee in the morning, just to be clear. At any rate, we were in Vermont, and it's not necessarily a real friendly place to Catholicism. It's probably farther left than San Francisco in many ways, home of Bernie Sanders and others. But at any rate, the Legion, even though we had left Atlanta, they continued to reach out and stay in touch with us. And we appreciated that very much. And so it happened, as God would have it, that we got to Vermont, and lo and behold, we find out that the Legion, the Cheshire, actually had their summer camp at the Isle of Lamont. And the Isle of Lamont is an island kind of in the northern portion of Lake Champlain. And they would, in the summertime, bring all of the brothers up to the island, and there was a summer camp there that they would visit and give the brothers a chance to kind of unwind a little bit, but still, I'm sure, work on faith formation and community. And truly a magnificent spot for them to kind of, you know, see a different environment. So we, again, just as God would have it, we learning that, we started to get re-involved in the Legion, and just about then, Father Simon, when were you ordained? 2010, right? And it was, I think, about then that you reached out to us, and Father Simon came up, and we went to. I remember once we went to Mass at St. Anne's Shrine on the Isle of Lamai, and you joined us for Mass. I think some of the brothers came over, and it was so beautiful. And then another time, you invited us to go to the summer camp, where we had Mass there and shared breakfast and shared, part of the day with all the men, memory. And those events, and then we had an opportunity during that period of time also to visit Cheshire for the first time. And so again, wowed by the tremendous passion and energy of the young men studying or discerning as to whether they were going to go on to the priesthood, and of course also interacting with more Legion priests, and how inspirational that was for us in so many ways. So again, just one tremendous opportunity to be wowed by the Legion of Christ along our path. It brings us to the world today, and indeed we're challenged in so many ways. And we have this abuse crisis in the church, not the first time in the history of the church that it's faced crises like this, but very serious nonetheless, and very complex. Father John Connor wrote a magnificent, I thought, piece shortly after the Meseric situation became known, kind of identifying the multiple factors involved. There's no one root cause, and there's no one answer. And in fact, there's a lot of energy debating, even amongst great Catholics, as to what the right answers are. But we're moving forward, and obviously there's still a lot of work to be done there. And then outside the church, of course, we are faced with so many issues today in the world of secularism and godless, really Gnosticism, where people believe that they don't need God anymore, and how that is playing out for all of us in so many ways. At work, I'm amazed at this kind of unholy alliance now between corporate America, where I spent my entire life, and what I kind of view as forces of evil in terms of those folks that are driving gay marriage and the whole transgender movement, and it's moving so fast from recognition to celebration to, I'm afraid, imposition. So we're faced with some very serious problems, and these things are antithetical to what we believe, antithetical to what God wants from us. So my message in all of that is not to be sad, or not to get too distressed. But back to Father Simon's comments, we need to be still joyful in the midst of all of that. But at the same time, we're expected by God to rise up and to protect His kingdom and grow His kingdom. And I can't imagine a time that is more needed for great, holy, well-formed Catholic priests than today. And so my message to the legionary priests that are here, the consecrated women, and all the young men who are in various stages of discernment or moving forward to their first vows, and that you are needed, so needed in the world. The time is now for you. The Lord had a plan you are here for a reason. And it's to help us push back, to fix the problems in the church and to push back on all of the issues that are impacting us outside the church. So we're trying to do that ourselves in the way that we can through our involvement in a number of organizations as mentioned. I'm so thrilled to be on the board of EWTN, and there is an extension really of the Legion there, in that an important part of EWTN today is the National Catholic Register, which the Legion of Christ guided for a number of years. And then only, I think, probably because of some of the financial issues the Legion faced back in 2010, 11, etc., they placed that into the hands of EWTN, where it has continued to grow and thrive. And just a shout out to EWTN as well. We're in 130 countries, 12 languages, and a year ago formed a separate news division where the National Catholic Register is kind of at the heart of that, but there's other pieces of Catholic News Agency and then News Nightly, television news programming, etc. And I would just say, in concert with the great care that the Legion gave to the National Catholic Register and the truth that it reports, we continue to do that. The mission of EWTN is with Catholics, with truth, and I can assure you that through these problems in the church, the people at EWTN are totally committed to the faith, totally committed to the church, and are doing everything they can, however, to get the truth out so that it can be dealt with. And they double check and triple check. I'm very proud standing here that, since the McCarrick situation and our reporting on it, we've not had to make any corrections or any retractions whatsoever. And I would encourage all of you, in the spirit of the Legion of Christ, who definitely provided guidance to the National Catholic Register, to please read that and follow EWTN for insights as to what's going on. But at any rate, all beautiful, all connected, and we just have been wowed throughout our entire relationship with Legion of Christ. So again, thank you so much for this honor. I wish we had had the opportunity to meet Brother Anthony, but we saw some of the stuff that's been written up on him, and we will read his book, and we're again could not be more honored. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much.